and welcome back to Reflecting Shakespeare TV, the Response Editions. This is Response Edition episode 4. My name is Erika, and I'm a manager and facilitator for the Old Globe's Reflecting Shakespeare program that we've been bringing inside to people experiencing incarceration since 2016. And we have been so busy during this COVID pandemic through this program, Reflecting Shakespeare TV, but also through a correspondence course that we were delivering as in-cell packets. So that correspondence course followed the exact same trajectory through the play Much Ado About Nothing that we did in this program in series 3 of Reflecting Shakespeare TV. So before we get into all that, let's bring on my co-host. It's James and Niki. Hey, you two.
Hey.
We have arrived. Hi, everyone. It's Niki. I'm so honored to be bringing the voices of our folks.
Hey, everyone. So glad to be here as usual. Let's get into it and hear from our participants at Centinela.
Yes, we are going to pick up in a fun place because in episode 7 of Reflecting Shakespeare TV, we finished the climax of the play, the big wedding scene. And after Hero was slandered by Claudio, who was spurred into action by the villainous manipulation of Don John, Beatrice and Benedict got their first moment alone together since they individually had changed their big changes of hearts about love, and they told the audience that they were going to love each other. But after all that drama at the wedding, Beatrice is flushed with a different kind of emotion. She's full of anger and revenge, and she asks Benedict to kill Claudio for what he's done to Hero.
Yeah, so this is a huge moment in the story, and we changed up the writing prompt in our correspondence course from the journaling we did in our episodes. We asked our participants to imagine that this was the intermission. The lights are coming up, you're going out to get some popcorn, all of that stuff. And we're turning to them and we're asking, so what do you think of the play so far? This was the first time we were getting their take on the play in general, and it was really rewarding to see what came back. So let's hear some of those responses.
I have to say that this play, as of now, has me on the edge of my seat. It's crazy in many different ways. One thing I can point out very quick is that there are some good plotters and wrongdoers. At the top is Don John and Beatrice. They're both acting the same way. Don John plotted this cheating on Hero, which, as of now, has worked out as planned. And because of that, now Beatrice is trying to turn Benedict on his best friend, Claudio. Now Benedict is acting like a fool for love. Well, from where we left on the scene. One should never be asked to prove their love to another. And whoever falls for a question like that, they're being used, in my opinion, especially when it comes to someone's friendship. You're willing to give up all those years of friendship, that bond, for someone you don't know, or if they truly love you, or if it'll last. That ain't good. Overall, I can't wait to see what's next in this play. And yes, I would like a soda, M&Ms, and some popcorn. Extra butter, please.
There's many moments in the story I can relate to. For example, lots of the times we tend to let our minds be clouded by what we believe in when things don't seem to go our way. We believe life has cheated us and begin to feel resentful and taking out our frustrations and anger, causing more pain, which includes those we claim to love. What I'm wondering about is what is going to happen between Hero and Claudio. Will they marry or split up for good? I can't wait to see the ending of the story. I'm frustrated because I can't see the faces of the people involved in this group. I feel like we could learn much more from each other if we could meet in person, which I'm looking forward to doing in the future.
I think this play so far has helped me understand a lot about myself. It's given me options on how not to be so shy and to open up and be myself. I'm starting to know what insight really means. It is putting yourself in someone else's shoes and understanding what they're going through. Also, empathy, which has made me willing to identify with these characters. I know that this is a play, but it has a lot of real world views that I can connect with, like the actions between Benedict and Beatrice. Before I read it all, I knew it in my heart that they had real love for each other, but did not want to express it in front of others and seem weak. But now they don't care, who knows? So yes, this play has me waiting each and every week for the next packet to see what's next. This is the first time I ever tried to read and do a whole play, and it has me intrigued.
It's a great play with a cautionary tale about love, deceit, ego, and ire. The love-hate dynamic between Claudio and Hero is a human condition and extremely relatable. I was shocked that Hero's father was not affronted by Claudio's accusations, but maybe that's how it was during Shakespeare's time. The dishonor does not only lay at Hero's feet, it burdens the entire family.
It is the first time that I've invested my time to theater plays, and I'm sold. I did not know it was so captivating and exciting. The topics and societies, ethics and rules, not to mention inequalities and prejudice in regards to gender and sex, are very much affecting today's world and time. It has opened my eyes to see how unfair and unequal women have still been treated. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all ends, and I'm hoping that Claudio and Hero have the happy ending along with Beatrice and Benedict. I will be waiting for the next packet and eager to pick it up where the story left off, or should I say play.
I'm digging this whole plot stormed up by Don John, trying to hurt his brother. It's crazy how it all played out and how well it worked. Poor Hero, but also poor Claudio. They're both innocent in this. I hope the truth comes out and their love brings them back together, but stronger than before. It's pure evil what Don John's done. The domino effect, Don John's hate calls Claudio to hate, which calls Beatrice to now hate Claudio and and want him dead. And for Benedict to turn his back on Claudio too. Such a betrayal. Oh, and poor Leonardo, Harold's dad. His ego is forcing him to go with the crowd to save his family's name. I've been wondering, why is Don John doing this to hurt his brother? I hope Don John's scheme here gets exposed soon. True love always finds a way.
I would say that there's a lot of chaos and deceit going on. It reminds me of my life. I thought all of that dysfunction was normal. I was like Don John. I didn't have an identity, and I was doing things to feel important and be accepted by my peers, and my impulsiveness was like Leonardo. Once I heard something, I would take it for face value without hearing the other person's side. I wouldn't even consider it. They were guilty in my mind. I see I was easily influenced and vulnerable when it came to impulsiveness. What I don't like is Don John and Baracchio's willingness to allow Hero to die for their self gratification. I'm wondering if the truth will come out, and that has me thinking.
I think Much Ado About Nothing is a great play. The question we must ask is, why do I think it is a great play? First off, the storyline has me hooked. Each week, I can't wait to read the next scene. And after I read it, it's just enough to hold me over as I hunger for next week's reading. Secondly, my emotions are caught up in the storyline as they are in any great movie I've seen. I'm mad that Don John heartlessly slanders sweet Hero's good reputation. With revenge in his heart for his own ruined social standing, I find it equally frustrating that he so easily pulled this off, and all the others so quickly find her guilty by hearsay. And now in today's reading, Beatrice and Benedict are thinking blindly in the midst of all this drama. It is so bold that Beatrice would make Benedict prove his love by committing murder, and so irrational that he agrees to this. Have they all gone mad? I can't begin to guess how this will all end, indicating a great play.
Benedict and Beatrice are my favorite characters in the story so far. Yes, there's been a little coercion to make them see they love each other. I know this kind of love personally. When I was young, I've always picked on a girl I liked because I had no way to communicate it otherwise. Now, Don John is a bonehead. Mischief is one thing, but to ruin someone's life over a bone you have to pick with your brother is just horrible. Hero wasn't innocent like Leonardo. If my daughter were slandered, I would want to punish those who were doing it. It seems the friars in all of Shakespeare's plays seem to have the answers. There's nothing different with Francis. The solution seems to be a sound one because it seemed like Claudio genuinely loved Hero. I know Marguerite was a servant, but she did a horrible thing to Hero standing outside Hero's window with Baracchio. Now, that was a betrayal in the third degree. It seems Benedict also knows his brother Don John. The story is shaping up well, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
I love that. Boom. They were so into the play. It's phenomenal. It was incredible. And I love that some of our folks talked about this time being the first time that they were ever engaged with the play. And frankly, how rewarding for everybody on our Old Globe team to simply know that folks were enjoying and engaging with this so much they connected. So now in episode 8, we focused on the character of Baracchio, one of Don John's cronies, he was like the chief operator in the plot that took down Hero, causing everyone so much pain. So Baracchio went out and bragged about his actions, something that didn't work out so well for him because he was overheard by the law and arrested. But this prompted us to offer a little quick write on bragging, right? Because we all know that we've all been there and bragged about something. So this quick write was called Bragging Feels. So let's see what we got back from our guys.
Bragging feels good when you won a game or earned something positive. I've done it because I worked hard for what I bragged about. The benefit was not only a booster to continue with my achievements, but also to encourage others to accomplish theirs. Today, my view on bragging is keep it positive.
Bragging feels empowering. I have done it because it gives me confidence at times when I'm been unsure of myself. The benefit was beneficial at the time and it breaks nervous reactions. Today, my view on bragging is not as bad as people make it out. Humility is okay at times, but bragging at certain times can feel empowering. It allows you to acknowledge accomplishments.
Bragging feels like a person being arrogant. I've done it because I felt like I could get away with it. The benefit was seeing if people would respect me for being aggressive. Today, my view on bragging is that it's a negative behavior that I don't want in my new life, though. And the way I accomplish that is by paying attention to my perceptions and the beliefs I have accumulated over the years with my experiences.
Bragging feels like algae on wet rocks, slimy. I've done it because it seems like the right thing. The benefit was being the center of attention. Today, my view on bragging is not worth the effort to expel the breath that carries the empty words.
Bragging feels like willful self-indulgence. I've done it because I wanted to sound important. The benefit was I felt valued by others for a moment. Today, my view on bragging is it's hot air and something we do to be accepted or valued by others. It's best to be humble.
Bragging feels like I'm well accomplished. I have done it because I needed to be viewed as an important man. The benefit was only self-gratification. Today, my view on bragging is it only makes people either hate you or view you as a show-off. I feel bragging can make someone feel insecure about not having what you have.
Bragging feels childish. I've done it because I wanted to fit in. The benefit was acceptance. Today, my view on bragging is that you don't have to brag about what you've done. As long as you know your accomplishments, that's what matters.
Bragging feels like I'm painting a larger picture than what is real. I've done it because I feel low, and by bragging for a moment, I'm the man. The benefit was short-lived because to my audience, I have to live up to it now. Today, my view on bragging is to be careful what you brag about, because the self-proclaimed hero today can easily be a zero tomorrow.
I remember when I was young, bragging felt good. I had done it because I was young and eager to build a persona. The benefit was to promote the persona I was building. And today, my view on bragging is not a good one. When I come across people who brag, it tells me they want me to think they are tough or important. But bragging is just words. So basically, when I hear someone bragging, it tells me they have some insecurity. My mom, she used to say, people brag what they don't really have.
Bragging feels like metaphorically slapping someone with a sly, bombastic eye poke. I've done it because at times certain individuals needed a humility check in my past. The benefit was, though, certain individuals stopped lording what they obtained over others. Today, my view on bragging is that with humility and good intentions, it's acceptable to brag about accomplishments to express your joy while uplifting, encouraging others that they can do it. Yet when someone brags to put others simply down for no good reason, that's not okay, in my opinion. Also, I do believe that it's acceptable to brag in defense of someone being put down by someone bragging on them. Sort of like popping the hot air sales out of a bully with his own medicine to humble them.
Bragging feels like impregnating wind. I've done it because I'm not always enough in my own scene. The benefit was satisfying, fleeting, disappointing when gone. Today, my view on bragging is we all use it because we must, even when we shouldn't, and our nature will not allow us otherwise.
Bragging feels like it boosts your ego and raises your self-worth. I've done it because I felt like I was balling and had everything I needed. The benefit was validating the lifestyle I was living. Today, my view on bragging is that it's very arrogant to brag, and people who brag usually feel they are superior to others and they think they're above the less fortunate. Materialism. Here today, gone tomorrow.
I love those varied and honest responses. So later in episode 8, Baracchio gives an impassioned speech of remorse and repentance. And we talked about whether we thought he was really sorry or sorry he got caught. But that sparked a larger conversation about accountability. And we posed the journaling question, what does accountability mean and look like to you? Let's take a look at that.
What accountability means to me, accepting full responsibilities for your actions, no matter what.
Accountability is accepting the responsibility for all our past wrongs. It means to truly feel remorseful for the victims we've created, accept that we were wrong and for our wrong choices. Finally, doing our best to make amends and seeking reconciliation with our victims or doing the right things in honor of our victims.
I believe that accountability is to take into consideration what we've done and accept the full consequences for our actions. To me, it looks like we should take responsibility for our actions at all times and never blame others for our mistakes. Even if someone else made us do something wrong, take in mind that we always had a choice.
Accountability means responsibility. It means that a person makes no excuses for his or her actions. It's a sign of growth and maturity.
Accountability means having the courage to take responsibility willingly for the actions you are the author of. It looks like a prince realizing the importance of his heritage.
Accountability is to fully understand what one has done and how it has affected all those involved, and to bear the brunt, remorse, and regret, and be willing to pay the debt owed for your actions.
Being accountable is owning up to the things you do, taking responsibility without excuses, learning from your wrongs, and wholeheartedly doing your best to be a better person.
Accountability to me is having the ability to only see your actions in every situation and not seeing what others have done to you. Accountability to me is searching for my causative and contributing factors and finding ways to address them.
Accountability has two parts. One, being able to be counted on, and two, being able to take responsibility. Now, if I agree to do something, I'm there to do it. If I can't for whatever reason, I'll take responsibility for my failure, no excuses.
We are accountable for all our actions and behavior in every moment of time. If I decide to be rude to somebody today, I'm accountable for this. The guy I'm rude to is not going to punch the guy next to me for my actions. Theoretically, this guy is going to hold me accountable by punching me in the face. My point being that accountability for a negative, unlawful action carries consequences, like a possible prison sentence or punishment. My advice, be accountable for great, positive actions.
Accountability to me is acknowledging and accepting personal responsibility for my actions. People and circumstances cannot force me to do anything I don't choose to do. Therefore, I am accountable for every decision, good or bad, period, I make, and the consequences that stem from my choices.
Accountability to me looks like responsible, honest, someone who's willing to own up to their flaws and mistakes.
Accountability means two things of one whole to me. Accountability is first taking account of your own or others' actions, whether they be active or inactive, good or bad, right or wrong. And accountability is second, the ability of my own or others to rationalize or reason responsibility or ownership of all of those accounts and actions on their or my part without minimizing or downplaying events. Accountability is for better or worse, owning my actions or choices, no matter how stained the blade scrolls may be.
We are truly only accountable when we are honest about our own shortcomings. Accountability requires us to be able to see our own limitations so that in the future we are able to make better choices. And if we are lucky or perhaps wise, we will grow more accountable in the here and now the more we learn.
Yeah, you can tell that's an important subject for everyone writing. So Baraccio's confession brings the truth to light, causing a huge change in perspective for Claudio and the others who believed the deceitful lies about Hero. In our correspondence course, we posed an additional question. Have you ever changed your perspective after receiving new information or facts? What new perspective did you acquire? Let's hear some of those responses.
Well, I don't know if it applies, but I have to say that my perspective changed when I became SNY. I used to have this warped belief that made me dislike others for no reason. If they were from a different gang, different race, or wore a different color, I automatically disliked them. But now over here, I get along with all those I thought I was against. I found out that I actually like these people and have no hate towards them at all.
I changed my perspective. For example, this life I choose to leave behind, I was always going to live it forever. But I got a glimpse of what life really is.
After starting to attend self-help groups and improving my education, I learned the information and facts to change my outlook in life. I used to believe that my old lifestyle chose me, and I didn't think change was possible because I thought that it was just life and the way things should and always will be. My perspective changed as soon as I realized I was wrong for creating victims and hurting others, which included the people I claim to love. I learned to value life. And my new perspective in life is to spread true love no matter where or what situation we're in.
Yes. My perspective of what my goals were in life changed dramatically when I realized that I was not the center of the universe, that my opinion wasn't the only opinion that mattered. I learned that my narrow perspective in life blinded me from seeing beyond the scope of my vision of people and circumstances.
I talked with one individual who was basically saying nothing but negative comments about someone else. These views of his made me think negative about the other guy without ever even meeting him. Eventually, I did meet him. And after a few days passed, my view started to change. And once he and I became close friends, my view was totally opposite. What I learned is to always meet others with an open view and never trust others' perspective or opinion of others without meeting them first. Always give others a chance to show their best self.
After doing a lot of self-help classes like AA, at first I thought I could stop drinking on my own without help. Sometimes it would last for about a month, but I kept starting back up until the day I found my father uh, died from drunk driving and felt like my world had stopped. That's when I knew I needed help. So I turned to AA classes where I learned to admit that I was powerless over alcohol and that my life had to become unmanageable. And the new perspective I required was to understand to put my life in God's hand and He will restore my sanity.
I changed my religious perspective. I was raised and baptized Mormon. When I was about 12, I refused to go to church due to the religion not making sense to me. As I got older, I excommunicated myself from the church and began exploring forms of paganism, Satru Odinism, and also Wiccan. I'm now 47 and don't have a set religion. I consider myself spiritual, but not religious.
Oh, yes. I changed my perspective once I learned new information and facts. My wife has a whole lot on her plate out there with the kids, her family, work, the maintenance of our home, and me. For some time now, I've always depended on her to do everything for me. Do this, do that, not realizing truly that she has so much to do out there. She's always stressed and trying to please everyone. We would argue at times because of all the pressures. Me being selfish, you can say, not taking what's going on in her life out there to heart. Well, we finally talked about all that, and she laid it on me. It hurts seeing her crying frustration, but afterwards, seeing her point of view, I changed. I stopped overwhelming her with errands and gave her that relief. Since then, things in our relationship seem to be getting better. She's not feeling tired as much or easily angered when I ask her something.
Yes, there was a point in my life where I put my so-called friends before my family. I thought these people had my back. Come to find out, after years of being incarcerated, the ones who have always been there for me is my family.
Of course, I've changed my perspective tons of times after learning more about the situation before me. One of the major ones is the concept of incarceration. I never truly thought about prisoners, and if I did, it was that they belonged in prison. Since being an inmate, I've come to see that huge mistake in my thought process. Another one is that before, I thought prison was worse than jail, but the truth is that jail is worse. The living conditions and the treatment of inmates gets better in prison. And it's weird when you're innocent, you're treated like crap in the county jail. However, once convicted, you're treated better. How effed up is that?
I've always believed in God, but there were many years of my life when I didn't pray or do anything to strengthen my spirituality. In the past few years, I've found a renewed excitement about how important and helpful it is for me to work on strengthening my spirituality every day. I worry a lot and I've spent countless hours trying to think through my problems. I've finally come up with the conclusion that I will never figure it out. Through faith and prayer, I find comfort knowing that God knows my purpose, and that is far beyond my understanding.
Most definitely. I used to think of myself as a pretty good person that simply made a bad decision that landed him in prison. After many self-help groups, ones I never thought I needed, I noticed an interesting pattern of behavior. I saw I wasn't who I thought I was, and in fact, behaved contrary to my values. This factual information provided much self-awareness to me and allowed me to change my beliefs and actions. My new perspective is more in congruence with who I am. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm aware that I need to continue working on myself as an inch closer to the person I know I need to be.
I believe that every rounded and open-minded person can change their mind or perspective after receiving new information.
All right. Well, that's a great way to bring this episode to an end with those words. All right. So let's do what we do. Let's do our one-word checkout. One word on how you are feeling right now. I am throwing it to Niki.
Erika?
Thoughtful. James?
Knowledge.
Awesome. And so we'll do what we normally do, and we will clap our way out of here as a unit and feeling connected and bringing that power. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye,
See you-
everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Next time.
See you soon.